Okay. So in the last session, we have discussed about the conditional statements. We have discussed what exactly a conditional statement and what is a use, and what kind of conditional statements available in Apex programming language, and what exactly the if condition, and how many formats are available in if condition we have discussed. There we have used the simple if condition practically, and then we have discussed about the if else condition and the syntax. So now let's see how can we use this if else condition and how can we utilize to execute a set of statements based on the condition result, and then what will be the limitations inside this if else condition. How can we use that other formats of if conditions, we'll see practically. Okay, now. So now upon executing some statements based on some condition result, if the conditions are satisfied, then I want to execute some set of statements. If the condition has been false or the failed, then I want to execute some different block of statements. Like for example, I'm having a login screen. By using that login screen, I can able to log in into my application by showing my credentials, by giving my identity. So whatever the username and the password that we have entered, if the credentials are valid, then it will allow you to enter into the application. If the credentials are invalid, the username or password, anything is invalid, then it will be giving the message to you, invalid username or password. That means what? If the conditions are satisfied, if the credentials are valid, then you can enter into the application. If the conditions are invalid, then it will be giving some message to you. That means what? Depends upon that condition result. If the conditions are satisfied, then we can execute some block of statements. If the conditions are failed, we can execute some different block of statements also. At that time, we can go with that, the if-else condition. By using this if-else condition, we can specify the true block statements. That means if the condition has been satisfied, then which statements you would like to execute. Then you can specify the statements by using the true block. So this is the immediate block of statements are available. As soon as the condition has been verified, if the condition has been satisfied, then it will execute that immediate block of statements. If the condition has been failed, it will execute that else block statements inside this. Okay, now, then how can we use this? Okay, if else condition. Now let's see practically. Now, so now in the last session, we have discussed that. We are performing the various mathematical operations on the numerical values by using this piece of code. This is the code we have written here. Now, so let me go to that application. So now this is the piece of code that we have used in the last session. Now if the condition, nothing but if the y value is greater than 0, then only we are going to performing this operation. Suppose if the y value is equals to 0, then what you want to do now? I want to show some message to the user that we can't perform the division operation and the modulus operation because it will be causing some exceptions also. So that what I want to do, if the condition has been satisfied, I want to execute this block of statements. Okay, I want to execute this block of statements. If the conditions are failed, I want to execute some different block of statements. For that one, I'm using that else part. Okay, I'm using that else part over here. In this else part, that means if the condition has been failed, okay, if the condition has been failed, then what we can do? I want to show some message. System.debug. We cannot perform the division and modulus operations as the second number value is 0. As the second number value is 0. So because of the second number value 0, we are unable to perform the division operation and the modulus operation here. Okay, both the operations we can't perform. So in this case, whenever the user is executing that piece of code, if the values are correct, suppose for example, if the y value is 10, then it will verify the condition the y is greater than 10. That means the 10 value is greater than 0. Condition is satisfied. Then it will be executing this piece of code. It will perform all the 5 operations. Suppose if the y value equals to 0, it will be displaying the message, we can't perform the division and the modulus operations. Okay, now click on execute this piece of code. The request has been sent to the server. Go to the developer console and select the debug only checkbox. Now it is showing all the 5 results. Addition result, subtraction result, multiplication result, division result, and the modulus result. All the 5 operations has been performed successfully. For example, if the second number value, y value equals to 0, then at that time, now tell me here this condition is satisfied or failed. Y is what? 0. 0 is greater than 0. Condition is true or false? False. So at that time, it will go to that else part. So it will be executing that, the statement, we cannot perform the division and the modulus operations. Now, click on execute. Let's open that debug log file generated by Salesforce. Now we can see that. First 3 operation results has been produced, and then the 4th operation result will not be visible. It is giving the message, we cannot perform division and the modulus operation as the second number value equals to 0. Suppose if I am not showing this message, the people will thought of there is a problem in the application. But actually the problem is the user's input. He has given some wrong input values. Because of that, we are unable to perform the remaining 2 operations. If I am showing this message, then the user will go through the message. They will understand what exactly the problem. They will correct his mistake. He will enter the correct value so that he will get that all the 5 operation results inside this. So that here, even though the user might have provided some wrong information, my application should be able to detect that. It has to give some proper message to the end user. It has to convey some message to the end user that this is a mistake that you have done. So because of that, I'm unable to go ahead. I'm unable to perform the remaining 2 operations. So please enter the correct values so that I will show you all the 5 operation results. Like that here, we have to show some message. If the user is unable to see the message, he will thought of there is a problem in the application. So upon designing the application, upon implementing the application, we have to handle all these kind of errors also. Okay, clear? Now, so let me place this piece of code. Okay, now. Next one. So write one small program over here. Okay, write a small program by using this if else part. Now, write an Apex program to find out the biggest number from the given 2 numbers. Write an Apex program to find out the biggest number from the given 2 numbers. So whatever the 2 numbers that we have, 2 numerical values that we have, from those 2 numerical values, I want to find out which one is the biggest one, which one is the smallest one. Okay, now, in this case, now tell me how can we do this? Then, first of all, we have to define 2 numerical variables here. Okay, I'm defining these 2 numerical variables. Integer, the first number, and then the second number. I'm defining 2 variables here. Both are of type numerical. So now here in this case, Whenever I'm using this both are of type numerical, what is the default value will be storing by Salesforce? Null. Now then if you want to find out the biggest one, then we need to assign some value. So that I'm assigning some value here. Now the first number equals to 12,500. I'm assigning a value. Second number, I'm assigning some 5,670. These are the two values that we have. Now tell me how can we write the piece of code in order to verify which one is the biggest one, which one is the smallest one now. Now, what we can do? If condition. Then tell me how can we write the code? If the first number value is greater than second number, then I want to show the message. System.debug. First number is the biggest one. Now, and then else, if the condition has been failed, system.debug, second number is the biggest one. Okay, so now here I'm going to be finding out, okay, which one is the biggest one. I'm having two numerical values are available, which has been stored inside these variables. Now I would like to verify if the first number value is greater than second number. Then I want to show that first number is the biggest one, or else I want to show the message second number is the biggest one. Okay. So now whenever if upon verifying the condition between the two values, if the first number is biggest one, then fine, or else automatically second number will be the biggest one. So that I'm using that else part. Fundamental concepts are very, very important. If you understood the fundamental concept, then remaining concepts are very easy for you. Now, done? Now, so let me execute this piece of code. Now from this two, the first number value is the biggest one. I'm expecting the result as the first number is the biggest one. Let's click on execute. Go to the debug log file. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is showing the message first number is the biggest one. Suppose for example, I'm giving the second number value as 45,670. Now in this case, second number is the biggest one. Click on execute. So now we can see the result. Select the debug only. Now it is indicating second number is the biggest one. So now upon implementing the code, not only testing the positive case, we have to test negative case also. Suppose if I am giving wrong values, what will happen? My application should not crash. My application should not hang. Okay, my application has to give some response. Okay, it has to show some message, so that we have to do both positive and the negative testing also upon implementing the code. Okay. Now, clear? Now, the next one. Write one more small program. Write an Apex program to find out the student result based on the below conditions. We have 5 subjects for the student, and the result will be pass when if the student got more than 40 marks in each subject. More than 40 marks in each subject. And the student will be failed when if the student got less than 40 marks in any of the subject. If the student got less than 40 marks in any of the subject, then he will be failed. So now tell me, how can we implement this functionality? How can we write the code for this program? Now, how many variables we need to define now? How many variables? 7 variables. 5 variables are to store that subject marks. 2 variables are for total and average. Okay. Now define these 5 variables. Total 7 variables. Integer, I'm indicating maths, physics, chemistry, Hindi, and the English. I'm using the total marks, average marks. These are the various variables that I have defined. I have defined that 5 subject related variables, and then to store the total marks, I'm using the total variable, and to store the average marks, I'm using this average variable. Now, I want to assign the values. Maths equals to some 90. Physics equals to some 79. Chemistry, I'm indicating like as some 85. Hindi, some 70. English, I'm giving like as some 94. Okay, now here I'm assigning some value for each and every subject. Now the subject marks are available. Now tell me, how can we calculate, can we find out whether the student is passed or not? Then what we can do? Check the conditions. Total. Do we need to go with total, or do we need to check every subject marks? Every subject marks. Then how can we verify? If. Then what we can do? Maths greater than or equals to 40. Next. And or are. And. Because in every subject we should get 40 marks. And I would like to specify the physics. Greater than or equals to 40. And then chemistry greater than or equals to 40. And English greater than or equals to 40. And then Hindi greater than or equals to 40. So now here I am verifying here. In each subject you should get minimum 40 marks here. That's what I am using equality. Okay, greater than or equals. Nothing but even though if the student got 40 marks, he will be passed. Okay. Now for that I am using that greater than or equals. So now I am verifying that the student is getting more than 40 marks in maths and the physics, chemistry, English, and the Hindi. If he is getting more than 40 marks in each and every subject, then only I want to show the message here. System.debug, congratulations, you got passed. Else, I want to show the message. System.debug, so now you got failed. Better luck next time. Okay, I want to show that message here. So now I'm going to be identifying whether the student got passed or failed. If the student is getting more than 40 marks in each and every subject, that's what I told you. Upon adding the condition, not only one, multiple conditions also we can able to add. Depends upon the complexity of your requirement. N number of conditions also we can able to add. No problem. There is no limitations. If all the conditions are satisfied, then only I want to show the message the student got passed, or else I want to show the message student got failed. Okay. If the student got passed or failed, I want to show the total message, total marks and the average also. Total equals to maths plus physics, chemistry, Hindi, and the English. And the average equals to total by 5. That means the total number of marks by the number of subjects. I want to show the total and the average marks for both the people, so that here, now what we can do? We need to write in this place, or we need to write outside. Why outside? Why not inside these if conditions? I want to show the total marks and average marks. For example, if I'm writing like this, total marks are, I want to show the total. System.debug, average marks are, I want to show the average. Now tell me, you want to show the total marks and average marks only for the past students? No, for the failed student also I want to show. Then what we can do, I need to copy this here. Okay, I want to show the total marks and average marks for both the people here. Now tell me, in this case, now these 2 lines of code, these 2 lines of code, both are same or not? Yes. There is a duplicate code, right? Then what we can do in this case? Instead of writing this code inside this particular if condition, can I write outside so that this will be applicable for both the people? Yes. So in this case, instead of writing this code inside that if condition, I would like to write this code outside. Okay, I would like to write these 2 lines of code outside here. In this case, this total marks and average marks are both will be applicable for both the people. Even though he may be passed, even though he may be failed, this statement will be getting executed. It will display the total marks and average marks, so that we can able to reduce the number of lines of code. We can avoid the redundant code also inside your application. Okay, so it depends upon the requirement. You have to decide whether we need to write inside that if condition or outside the if condition here. If you want applicable for both the people, write outside. If you want applicable only for specific category of people, write inside that. Okay. Done? Practice is very, very important every day. Okay. Now, so now let me execute this piece of code. Click on execute. Before that, let me verify. So now in each and every subject, he is having more than 70% of marks. That means here he is passed. Okay. Now student got passed now. Click on execute. Request has been sent to the server. Go to the debug log file. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is indicating congratulations, you got passed. Total marks are 418 and the average marks are 83. Okay. Now we can able to see the result. Suppose, for example, assume that inside this English, I got some 9 marks. Okay. Inside this English subject, I got some 9 marks. In the remaining subjects, he got more than 70, almost 80% marks. Then, what about this student result? Pass or fail? Fail. Even though if you are getting less than 40 marks in any of the subject, he will be failed. Now, so in remaining subject, he is having that more than almost 70% of the marks are available, but only in English he got 9 marks. Now click on execute. Select the debug only checkbox. Select the debug only. Now it is indicating that you got failed, better luck next time. So total marks are 333, average marks are 66. Even though he is getting more percentage, but because of one subject marks, he got failed. Like inside that English, he got only 9 marks, so that he got failed over here. Like that, we can able to cross-check that functionality. Okay, by passing wrong and the right values also, both. Okay, clear? Now we have to track in each and every subject here. Okay, we have to cross check that in each and every condition. Okay, which subject has been failed. Clear? Then we can able to add over here percentage symbol. How much percentage that you got over here? Okay, we can able to display that. Click on execute. Request has been sent to the server. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is showing that average marks are 66%. Okay. Clear? How to write the condition, how to validate the conditions, and how can we execute the statements. Clear as of now? No. Next one. For example, I am using this previous program. Okay. I am using this previous program, whatever we have implemented here. So in order to find out the biggest one from the given two numbers, so I'm specifying the first number value, second number value. So now I'm verifying the condition, and then I'm able to display the result over here, which one is the biggest one. Now here, second number value is the biggest one. So when I click on this execute button, I can see the result. Second number is the biggest one. Okay, I can able to see the result. Second number is the biggest one. It is working very fine. Suppose if I am giving that first number as the biggest one. Okay, 1,12,500 is the first number. Once I click on this execute button, I can see the result. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is showing that first number is the biggest one. Okay, it is working fine. Suppose in case if both the numbers are same, what will happen in this case? Then in this case, as part of this condition, what will happen? What is the first number value in this case? 1,12,500. What is the second number value over here? 1,12,500. Here we are having that operator called as greater than symbol. Okay, greater than symbol is there. Now tell me this value is greater than this value? No. Condition is false. If it is false, what it will execute? Second number is the biggest one. Now tell me really second number is the biggest one? No. Both are same. In this case, it is showing some wrong results, right? In this case, what we can do? For that one here, instead of not only verifying this only one condition, I want to add one more condition also over here. Okay, I want to add one more condition to verify whether both the numbers are equals or not. For that one, we are going to be using one more format of if condition that is called as else if. Okay, else if condition. Okay, else if condition. By using this else if condition, we can able to add the multiple branches. We can add multiple branches and we can execute multiple blocks of code also. That possibility is there. So in this case, how this else if condition will be get look like? Okay. Now let's see practically. For example here, come to a general scenario. Okay. Come to a general scenario. Assume that I'm purchasing some products, okay, through Flipkart, okay, through Flipkart or by using the Amazon also, whatever, any of that e-commerce website. By using any of that e-commerce website, okay, I'm going to be purchasing some products through online. So now we have selected some list of products. Once the products has been getting selected, finally, we have to make the payment. Okay. There is a button is available that is make the payment button. You can make the payment. As soon as once you click on this make the payment button, it is providing so many options to me here. Okay, it is providing so many options to me. Like it is providing the options like this. Select any one of the option over here, like as credit card, debit card, net banking, cash on delivery, Paytm. Like that, so many options has been given by this application to me here. I'm having so many options are available. From this option, any one of the option we have to select. We are having this credit card option, debit card option, net banking, cash on delivery, and the Paytm. As soon as once you click on this and make the payment button, it is providing a user interface to me where I have all these options. Now tell me, upon making the payment, okay, how many options can I select? Only one or multiple? Only one or multiple? Only one. Either we can make the payment through credit card or debit card or net banking or cash on delivery or Paytm. Sometimes you can raise the question, sir, I don't have that much of amount inside my debit card, so I want to make half of the amount through debit card, half of the amount through credit card here. Will it be possible? No. We have to make the payment in one shot only, not half of the payments here. Okay, at that time, we have to generate two orders separately. Okay, divide the products. Whatever the 10 products you have selected, make it as few products, 4 products in one separate order, 6 products in separate order here. For the 4 products, we can able to make the payment through debit card. For the remaining 6 products, we make the payment through credit card here. At that time, 2 orders we have to generate. For one order, we can't make the payment by using 2 options here. Okay. Now in this case here, for that one to select any one of this option, it is providing a radio button to you. Okay. It is providing a small radio button. So now we have to select any one of this option, not multiple. Only one option we have to select in this case. Okay, only one option you have to select in this case. For example, I'm selecting that option as some credit card. Whenever I'm selecting the option as some credit card, then automatically it is going to providing a user interface to me here. Okay, it is providing a user interface. Whenever I'm selecting that credit card, it is providing a user interface. In this user interface, we need to enter that credit card number. Credit card number and the PIN number and the expiry date. Okay, expiry date here. We have to enter all these details here. If I'm selecting that option as credit card. Suppose if I'm selecting that option as net banking, then what will happen? In this case, it is going to providing one more user interface to me here. It is providing another user interface to me. So in this case here, we have to select that option. Here we are having a pick list is available. Okay, here you are having a pick list. We are having a pick list. In this pick list, it is populating all the bank names. Okay, all the bank names which will be supporting by this particular e-commerce application to make the payment. For example, here I'm selecting that bank name as some ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank. As soon as whenever I'm selecting this ICICI Bank, then automatically it is going to be redirecting me to that login screen of that ICICI Bank over here. Okay, so this option will be available whenever I'm going to be selecting the option as net banking. Suppose if I'm selecting like as some debit card, then it is providing some different options too. Specify your debit card number, specify the CVV number, and then expiry date of your debit card, and along with that we have to specify the name printed on your debit card along with the OTP also here. That means what depends upon the option which are selected, it is performing the various options. So if I'm selecting that payment mode as credit card, the different operations are performing. If I'm selecting that payment mode as debit card, different operations are performing. If I'm selecting as net banking, different operations are performing. That means not only one option, multiple options are available, but only one option we can able to select at a time, not multiple here. Okay. Now, like the similar way, if you want to provide some list of conditions, based on that condition result, if you want to execute some certain operations, then we can go with that else if condition. Else if condition is used to add the multiple branches, multiple conditions. Like this, we can able to add the multiple conditions. Based on that condition result, the respective branch of code, the respective block of statements will be getting executed. If this condition is satisfied, this branch code, this block of code will be executed. If this condition is satisfied, this block of code will be executed here. Like that, we can able to execute that branch code. So in this case, now let's see how can we use that syntax here. Specify the syntax. If we can specify the conditions. If the conditions are satisfied, then we can able to execute the statements here. Write the statements whatever you want. If this condition is false, then write that statements here. Write the business logic. Else if here. I'm using this else if here. Else if conditions. Else if these conditions are satisfied, then execute this block of statements. Like that, here we can able to write that multiple conditions. If any of the condition is not satisfied, then we can able to write that default block statements. Default block statements. If the specified conditions are satisfied, okay, if these conditions are satisfied, then this block of statements will be getting executed. Suppose if this condition has been failed, it will go to the next condition, it will verify that. If this condition is also failed, then it will go to that next condition. If this condition has been satisfied, then it will be executing this block of statements here. Once this condition with this block of statements has been executed, immediately it will be coming out from the entire else if condition here. It won't cross check the remaining conditions. Okay, it won't cross check that remaining conditions. For example here, assume that in some cases, this condition is failed. It will go to that next condition. This condition also failed. Then it will go to that next condition. This condition also failed. Like that, here all the conditions are failed. Then finally what it will do? It will go to that else block. So this block of statements will be getting executed. If any of the conditions are not satisfied, then finally it will be executing default block statements here. Okay? So now if any of the condition has been satisfied here, then that respective block of statements will be getting executed. It will come out from that entire if condition over here. Okay? Clear? Now. That's what here the same option is available to you here also. Okay? That's what the same option is available. If this option has been selected, now it will be opening this particular the user interface. Suppose if they, for example, if this condition, if this option has been selected, then it is providing some different user interface. If this option has been selected, some different user interface. Like that depends upon the option which was selected, depends upon the condition which has been satisfied, the respective block of statements will be getting executed for you inside that. Okay? Now make a note of this one. In this approach, if any of the condition has been satisfied, then the associated block of statements will get executed. If any of the condition, if all the conditions are failed, if all the conditions are failed, then it will execute the default block statements. Then it will execute the default block statements. Now, make a note. Always only one block of statements will be getting executed, not multiple. Okay. Always only one block of statements executed. Always only one block of statements will get executed, not multiple. If the screen is visible to everyone, if the screen is not visible, come to the front side. Come to the front row, the chairs are available. Done? Now. So now let's see how can we use this else if condition in order to implement my application here. Okay, now. So let's come to my application now. Then tell me how can we verify this one. Suppose if both the values are equals, then I want to show the message both the numbers are identical. How can we do that? I need to add one condition over here. I'm adding one condition. If the first number value equals to second number, then what I want to do, I want to show the message both the numbers are identical. And then after that, else if. Okay. Suppose if both the numbers are not identical, if this condition has been false, then I want to verify which one is the biggest one, which one is the smallest one here. Okay. If both are identical, both are same, I want to show the message called as both the numbers are identical, or else if this condition has been failed, then I want to verify this condition here. So now first number is the biggest one or second number is the biggest one. You can able to find out. So that here I am using this if condition and then else if conditions also. But only one block will be getting executed. If this condition is satisfied, only this statement will be getting executed. It won't cross-check the remaining conditions again over here. Only one block will be getting executed always. Okay? Clear? So now let me execute this. In this case here both are identical. Let's click on execute. Let's verify the debug only checkbox. Now it is showing that message both the numbers are identical. Okay, both are same. Suppose for example, I am making this second number as the smallest one. First number is 1,12,500. Second number is 11,250. Now let me execute that. In this case, first condition is satisfied. No, failed. It will go to that second condition. It will verify which one is the biggest one. Click on execute. See the results. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is indicating first number is the biggest one because first number value is 1,12,500. Second number is 11,250. Suppose for example, I'm making the second number as, okay, now I'm indicating 3,11,250. First number is 1,12,000. That means it is the smallest one. Now let me execute that. Now I want to get the message 3,11,250 is the biggest one. That means second number is the biggest one. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is indicating second number is the biggest one. So all the three conditions we have to validate. So now as a developer, it is our responsibility not only writing the code, we have to test each and every condition also with positive and the negative cases both. Okay. Clear? Done? Now let's see. So write one more small program. Write an Apex program to print the season name based on the month number as below. I will pass the month number as an input. Based on that month number, it has to identify whether this month will come under which season. Will it be comes under winter season or spring season or summer season? I would like to find out. So I'm indicating that month numbers here. Month number and the season name. So the month number is, I would like to give some month numbers between 1 to 4. That means here whenever I'm giving this boundary 1 to 4, that means include lower boundary, include upper boundary. So now 1 is the lower boundary, 4 is the upper boundary. We have to include both. That means if the month number is either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, including these two, 4 and 1 also including. Okay, this is called as boundary value analysis. Okay, this is called as boundary value analysis. We have to include both lower boundary and upper boundary both here. Now, in this case here. So now, if the month number is between 1 to 4, I want to show the season name as the winter season. If the month number is between 5 to 8, I want to show summer season. If the month number is between 9 to 12, I want to show spring season. If I am giving the month number other than this range, if it is less than 1 or greater than 12, because we are having the month numbers till 1 to 12 only, not more than that. So if I'm passing some other values, if I'm passing the wrong value, it has to show the message invalid month number. Okay. So this is my requirement here. Now tell me how can we implement this? So what is the input? What is the output now? Input is what? Month number. Just I'm passing the month number to my application as an input. Now based on that month number, it has to decide whether it is valid month number or not. If it is valid month number, then it has to identify in which season this will be comes under. Whether it will be comes under winter season, summer season or the spring season, it has to identify. Okay? Now, in this case, to give the month number as an input, then we need to define that numerical variable, because month number is a numerical value, either 1 to 12. So that I'm defining one integer variable here. Integer, some month number. I'm assigning the value some 6. We can assign any value also, whatever you want. I'm assigning some value as 6. I'm giving that month number as 6. Now I want to verify whether this month number will come under which season now. summer season, then how can we verify? Through programmatically, how can we write that code? Tell me, how can we write the code here? Okay, if month number is greater than 1, equals to 1 or greater than only 1. We need to include lower boundary or not? Yes, including the lower boundary means what? Equality. Okay, if it is greater than or equals to 1 and month number less than or equals to 4. That means 1 to 4, including 1, including 4 also. That's what I'm using equality. Okay, it will be up to equal to 4, equals to 1 also. That means month number value may be equals to 1 or greater than or equals to 1 also. Okay. Now, if the month number is between 1 to 4, okay, then I'm going to verify that. I'm displaying the message system.debug winter season. Next, then else, simply else condition or what? Else if, because not only this condition, we have some more branches, some more conditions are there to be get verified. Now I would like to verify if the month number is greater than or equals to 5 and the month number less than or equals to 8. I want to show the message system.debug summer season. Else if the month number is greater than or equals to 9 and the month number less than or equals to 12, I want to show the message now spring season. Now else, suppose if all the conditions are not satisfied, then what you want to show? That means if the month number is not between 1 to 4, it is not between 5 to 8, and it is not between 9 to 12, then what you want to show? Invalid month number. That's it. System.debug invalid month number. I want to enter. Please enter the month number between 1 to 12. I want to show some message over. I want to indicate the message invalid month number. Please enter the month number between 1 to 12. So that not only verifying one condition, we can able to check the multiple condition branches also. None? Now, let me execute this piece of code. Click on execute. Request has been sent to the server. See the debug only checkbox. Now it is indicating summer season because I have given the month number as 6. So now 6 will be comes under the range 5 to 8. So 5 to 8 means this is summer season. Suppose for example I am giving that value some 12. 12 will be comes under spring season. Now let me execute this piece of code. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is showing the result as spring season. For example, I am giving that value as some 22. Now tell me in this case what will happen. Is it a valid month number? No. Now click on execute button. See the results. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is indicating invalid month number. So please enter the month number between 1 to 12. Okay? Clear? Clear? How to use this else if conditions? Now, make a note of some assignments here. The first one. So write an Apex program. Write an Apex program. Write an Apex program to print the weekday name based on the number as below. I want to show that. If the weekday number is 1, I want to show like as some Monday. If it is 2, I want to show like as Tuesday. If it is 3, I want to show like as on Wednesday. Like that, I want to show that. If it is 7, I want to show that value as Sunday. If the value is less than 1 or greater than 7, I want to show the message invalid weekday number. Invalid weekday number. I want to show. This is the first assignment. Second one. Write an Apex program to calculate the bill amount. To calculate the bill amount by offering the discount as below. Now the bill amount is between 1,000 to some 5,000. I want to give the 5% discount. If the bill amount is 5,001 to 10,000, I want to give the 10% discount. If the bill amount is 10,001 to 15,000, I want to give the 15% discount. If the bill amount value is greater than 15,001, I want to give that 25% discount. So now take two input values, quantity and then unit price. Give some quantity, give the unit price, calculate the bill amount. Based on that bill amount, then offer the discount also. Deduct the discount value and then print that the actual bill amount which we need to pay. Okay, after deducting that discount here. Okay. Print the net amount to be paid. Net amount to pay. That means after the discount. Print the net amount to pay. How much amount that we need to pay? Okay, that we need to display over here. Based on the quantity and the unit price, calculate that bill amount. So now depends upon the bill amount range, offer some discounts over there. If the bill amount is less than 1000 rupees, then there is no discounts available on that. Okay. If the bill amount is between 1000 and the 5000, then we are having 5% discount. And then after deducting the 5% of discount, then what is the net amount that we need to pay? Okay. Now when you go to that, the bill amount is between 5001 to 10,000, I'm offering 10% discount. If the bill amount is greater than 10,001 to the 15,000, I want to offer 15% discount. If it is more than 15,001, then I want to provide the 25% discount. Okay. Clear? Now. So now try these two assignments today here. Okay. Now. The next one. So what is the next format of if condition then? Nested if. Nested if condition. Then what do you mean by nesting basically? Nesting in the sense what? Including or inserting or embedding. So whenever, okay, when you go to that nest, okay, it will be having so many wires are available, so many threads, okay, which are connected, which are inserted inside that another one. Like the similar way, whenever we are going to be validating some data based on some conditions, here we are going to be validating the condition. If the conditions are satisfied, we are going to be executing this one. Suppose, okay, suppose in this case, if you want to write one more condition inside this, if the requirement is very complex, then I would like to add one condition inside that another condition over here. Inside one if condition, if you want to use another if condition, then it is called as nested if condition. Nesting means what? Inserting or including or embedding one condition, one if condition into another if condition, then it is called as nested if conditions. Whenever if the requirement is a bit complex, then we are going to be using this nested if conditions also. Okay. Now make a note of this syntax here. Syntax. If the conditions, we can able to write the statements. Write the business logic here. Inside that, I would like to verify some more conditions. If the conditions, write the statements. True block statements, else false block statements. Or else you can verify. That means what? In one if condition, I am using another if condition also inside this. Okay. In one if condition, I am using another if condition. By using this approach, we can insert or include one if condition inside another if condition. To achieve the complex requirements. In order to achieve the complex requirement, to validate that complex data, then we can use multiple if conditions also. Inside one, we can use another if condition as well. Done? Now. So let's take a small requirement. Done with these notes? No. So let's take a small use case. Write an Apex program to find out the student result and calculate the grade as below. And calculate the grade as below. The first point here. We have the 5 subjects for the student, which includes some Hindi, English, maths, physics, some chemistry. And then calculate the total marks of the student. Calculate the total marks of the student. And the third one, find out the student result as below. In this case, 3.1. Upon finding out that student result, if the student got more than 40 marks, he will be pass. If the student got more than 40 marks in all the subjects, in 3.2, he will be fail. If the student got less than 40 marks in any of the subject, for the past student, 3.1.1. Now, display the total marks of the student, and 3.1.2, calculate the average marks. Calculate the average marks and print the average marks. And 3.1.3, calculate the student grade. Calculate the student grade as below. Suppose if the student is getting the average marks greater than or equals to some 60%, then he will be in the grade A. If the student is getting that average marks more than or equals to 50 and then less than 60%, that means 50 to 59, then he will be in the grade B. If the student is getting that marks, average marks greater than or equals to 40 and then less than 50, that means 40 to 49, then he will be in the grade C. I need to calculate the grade here. And then I would like to print the 3.2.1. Display the total marks and then display the average marks here. Only the total I would like to calculate. This is my requirement here. Half of the functionality already you have implemented. Now rest of the piece of code we need to implement now. Done? Now. So now tell me how can we implement this requirement here. How many variables we need to define now? To store that 5 subject marks, we need to define 5 variables. And to store the total marks and then average marks, we need 2 more variables. Okay? Now, so let me define the variables and let me assign some values inside this. Integer, I mean defining the variables maths, physics, chemistry, Hindi, English. And along with that, I want the total marks. I want the average marks. Now I am assigning some marks for each and every subject. Maths equals to some 94. Physics equals to some 80. Chemistry equals to some 97. Hindi some 64. And the English, I am assigning like some 75. So these are the marks that I have assigned here. Anyhow, even though the student maybe got passed, student maybe get failed, I want to show the total marks for both the students. So that I would like to calculate the total marks. Total equals to maths plus physics plus chemistry plus Hindi and then English. I am calculating the total. Once the total has been getting calculated, then I would like to find out whether the student got passed or failed. How can we verify? I am verifying the condition. If the student is getting more than 40 marks in the maths or not, and the physics greater than or equals to 40 or not, and the chemistry greater than or equals to 40 or not, and Hindi greater than or equals to 40 or not, and then English greater than or equals to 40 or not. If the student is getting more than 40 marks in each and every subject, then I want to show the message. So now, congratulations, you got passed. Else, the condition may be failed also. I want to show the message here. Now, you got failed. Better luck next time. And I want to show the total marks also for both the people. I am displaying the total marks. System.debug. Total marks are, I want to show the total. I want to show the total marks. Up to this part is fine. Then, so now in this case, we are identifying whether the student got passed or failed. If it is passed, I am displaying the total marks. If it is failed, I am displaying the total marks. Now, Then after that, for the past student, what we need to calculate now? Grade. Grade will be calculating based on what? Average. So that we need to calculate the average mark for whom? For the past students only, not for the failed students. Now this is the past students block over here. Go to that past students block. We can calculate the average. Average equals to total by 5. I want to show the total marks here. Total marks are, I want to show the total. Okay, only for the past students. So based on the total, what I need to do? Okay, based on the average marks. Okay, average marks are, I'm displaying that average. Okay, I'm displaying the average marks. Once average marks has been getting displayed, then based on this average marks, I need to find out, okay, what is the grade of that student here. Then how can we verify? If condition. See, inside this if condition, this is the outer if condition, this is the inner if condition here. I'm using one if condition inside that, another one. If the average marks are greater than or equals to 60, then I want to show the message system.debug grade A. Else if the average marks are greater than or equals to 50, and the average marks are less than 60, that means up to 50 to 59, including 50, including 59, not 60. Here I'm not using the equality, so that's here up to 50 to 59. Then I would like to indicate system.debug grade B. Else if the average marks are greater than or equals to 40, and then average marks are less than 50, that means up to 40 to 49, I want to show the message now grade C. Okay, grade C. Like that. We have to split the requirement here. Okay, split the requirement to the various small pieces and then try to implement each and every piece of code. So in this case, in order to verify what is the student result, I am using this if condition. To calculate the grade of that student, I am using this if condition. So that this if condition I have used inside this another if condition. So this is called as nested if conditions inside your Apex programming. We can use one if condition into another if conditions also. Not required. Not required. That's not a mandatory. It's we can make it as leave. We can make it as blank also. Done? In if condition, all the four formats are very, very important. Okay. Always we are using this if condition in every program. So now let me execute this piece of code. Here I have given all the marks are more than, okay, the 40%. So that here he will be in pass. Click on execute. Request has been sent to the server. Select the debug only checkbox to see the results. Now it is indicating, congratulations, you got passed. Total marks are 410, average marks are 82, and the grade is A. So now it is indicating that whole information over here. Suppose, for example, now I'm indicating that for that English, I'm giving that marks as some 29, which is less than 40. So now click on execute. Let's see the results now. Select the debug only checkbox. Now it is indicating that you got failed, better luck next time, total marks are 364. So for the failed students, there is no concept of calculating the grade, there is no calculation of average also. Only for the past students, we are calculating the grade and the average, and then for the failed students, simply we are displaying that the result of the student along with the total marks he got. Okay? This is how we can able to implement the functionalities by using the if conditions. Okay? Now, so these are the 4 formats of if conditions that we have discussed practically here. Okay? So in the next session, we'll see the switch statement along with the ternary operator, and then we'll start the concept of iterative statements. Okay?